All right, so another random question. So I got asked who would win between Saitama from One Punch Man versus Vergil. So I don't want to sound biased at all, but and keep this in mind, I guess, as well. I read all the way up to in One Punch Man where Saitama is fighting Cosmic Garo, and he like does that punch that like clears a whole bunch of stars or whatever, right? And a bunch of power scalers that actually like measured everything. They pretty much stated somewhere along the lines that Saitama like wiped the equivalent of like a galaxy with that punch, right? And and then there's some weird stuff that happens where like he does like reverting back in time to where he like beats him without a punch, technically. And it was kind of weird, right? So even if we go, you know what? Let's say that let's say that wasn't a galaxy level punch. Let's say it was a universal level punch or a super galaxy cluster level punch. Virgil's his sword alone slices through that literal flex that we just went over, right? It slices through dimensions, it slices through space time. It's noted like several different times that the Yamato does that. And then at the same time, Urizen, who is weaker than Devil May Cry 5 Vergil, is able to block Dante in his sin, or not his sin Devil Trigger form, but his base Devil Trigger form at the time, right, beginning of Devil May Cry 5, with the Sword of Sparta, which is another buff for Dante. So he's got, it's Dante for one. Then he's got the Sword of Sparta, and then he's in his Devil Trigger form, which is the like highest buff of everything you could give him. And then Urizen himself, Urizen goes punches him, right? Blows up the rebellion into a million pieces. But Dante isn't able to get past the Yamato, which is that like red crystal. That's what the Yamato is within. It's like this ridiculous shield. So the fact that Dante, who is able to go and beat, and I'm pretty sure I've said this a million times, he's able to go beat Mundus in the underworld. Then he needs a little help from Trish. And then between Devil May Cry 1 to Devil May Cry 2 novel, he's able to beat Void Mundus without really thinking about it. And then he goes on to beat Argisax, who's supposed to be a rival to Mundus in base form. And so I just don't see any and this is me lowballing like Virgil's feats, and this is me highballing Saitama from that. So if I am like holistically behind Saitama with One Punch Man and he's got some bigger feats than I'm aware of, sure, let me know. Obviously, right? I'm trying to be honest of where like I left off with One Punch Man. But do keep in mind, even if Saitama had some universal or multi-universal busting punch or something like that, does he have immeasurable speed like Vergil does? Vergil is able to keep up with Dante, who has fought Pluto in the peak of combat, and that guy alone is like the standard for immeasurable in that he's in the infinite underworld and he's able to go anywhere in this infinitely sized dimensional plane of the underworld. And he's able to go and travel instantly. He's able to bypass the time axis and get wherever he wants in this infinite dimension instantly. It's literally noted that way. So that would be a measurable speed, and Vergil is only going to be faster than that with his Devil Trigger form and Sin Devil Trigger form, and his base keeping up with Dante through from 3 to 5, from start to finish. So I don't see how Saitama is even going to be able to keep up with Vergil from DMC 3, let alone 5. But again, correct me. I don't mind being corrected at all, but you let me know.